الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة.
Nobles, you have just completed your rugged trek across the hot sands of the desert in search of the great Muslim capital Mecca, which unfolds in the wilderness of the Arabian desert, halfway between Yemen and Syria. This city in which you now stand is the holy city of Islam. It is so situated in the desert of Arabia that only by constant trials and tribulations, by passing through hazards, sandstorms, being beset by thieves, and experiencing other catastrophes, were you able to walk therein. It is as if nature had cooperated with the Muslim faith in guarding the secrets of this hallowed spot from the unsanctified. In the heart of the city is the great mosque, Bait Allah, House of God, the altar, which is situated according to Arab tradition in the center of the world and immediately beneath the throne of the Almighty. Upon the Bait Allah altar are a Bible and a Quran. The Quran is the unique history of our founder Muhammad. It is absolutely unique in its origin and in its preservation, upon the authenticity of which no one has ever been able to cast a serious doubt. The Quran is the actual text as dictated by Muhammad himself, day by day and month by month during his lifetime. It is a reflection of this mastermind, sometimes inartistic and self-contradictory, more often inspiring and lyrical, and always filled with great ideas which stand out as a whole. The Black Stone is really a number of fragments, 12 to be exact, united by dark cement and held together by a silver band. The whole is oval and about 7 inches in diameter. What these stones or fragments are made of, no one has ever been able to definitely establish. Tradition asserts that the original Kaaba came from paradise and was handed by the angel Gabriel to Abraham and Ishmael when they were building the Kaaba. At the time, its color was snow white. Its present color is the outcome of having been kissed by the millions who each year make the pilgrimage to Mecca. This, however, does not clear up the question of its composition. The obstacle to so doing is that the vast majority of the men who go to Mecca view the black stone as a holy emblem and do not worry about its geological history. Those travelers who examine the stone with curiosity as well as reverence differ in their opinions. Some say that it's a chip of rock from the Abu Qubais hills to the east of Mecca. Some say it's a meteorite, an object usually composed of iron that has fallen upon the earth from outer space. Others insist it is of volcanic origin. None of this is of any real importance, in spite of the controversies it's given rise to on various occasions. Regardless of its composition, the stone has been there a long time. Maximus Tyrius, writing in the 2nd century after Christ, spoke of Arabians praying to a god which they worshipped as a rectangular building in which there was a black stone. Some of you may ask, why do we use the black stone? Why is it so sacred to us? In ancient times, the sacred stone held a place of great honor. The black rock of Mecca is still an object of Mohammedan veneration. Stones have their own characteristics. If it was a big one, it impressed people by its massiveness. Perhaps it had some peculiar shape, looked like a man or a Superman. If it was a little one, it could be carried in the pocket or set up on the tent. Little or big, it was solid, substantial, did not change like a brook or a stream, and man had not made it. It was a present from heaven because it came fresh from the hand of God. And thus, the black rock is revered by Shrindom to this day. Christ said to Peter, "Upon this rock I will build my church." This allegorical statement is similar to our symbolic masonry of today. Christ was impressed by the sincere, loyal, and reverent way in which Peter had followed him, so he likened his faith to a rock which is able to withstand the storms of time. Let us, as true Arabs, stand firm in our convictions that coming generations will have faith in us and build their tomorrow on our solid foundation of fraternal stability. Mecca, the city of Muhammad, is known as the capital of Shrindom. Muhammad chose this city as its capital because it was where the Banu Kanana had formed a settlement around the Kaaba, a sanctuary of a number of confederate tribes belonging to the district. The feast, annually observed in the days before the full moon of the month Dhul-Hijjah at Mecca, presented strong attraction to all the inhabitants in the vicinity thereabout. And thus Mecca grew into a great meeting place. The sanctuary and the feast of Mecca caused it to grow into a great meeting place. Mecca unfolds in the wilderness of the Arabian desert, halfway between Yemen and Syria, in a land wasted by winds and secular rains, a savage valley enclosed between two sharp, arid chains of rock mountains, making its position so secluded that not until the travelers are looking down into its streets do they know they have arrived at the holy city. Long before Muhammad, Mecca was considered a sacred city because of the holy sanctuary in its center. In the middle of the court stands the Kaaba. The Kaaba is a huge, windowless, cube-shaped flat room building enveloped by dark cement. And enveloping it is a huge black brocade cover like a tea cozy on which verses from the Quran are embroidered in gold. Each year the cover, which is called Keswa, is renewed. Legends suggest that the original Kaaba dates back to Adam. After that, it was destroyed in the deluge. Later, it was rebuilt by Abraham and Ishmael, and then it fell into the hands of idolaters who added other additions until Muhammad came and destroyed, or rather restored, its ancient dedication to one God. 7 smaller buildings surround the Kaaba. The most important contains the well of Zemzem. This is where Hagar, when she was expelled from the tents of Abraham through the instigation of Sarah, decided to die. Wandering across the desert, she had reached the stony valley of Mecca. Her provisions had given out. Her gourd was empty. Frenziedly, she ran to and fro looking for water. Then finally, nearly dead from thirst, she threw herself on the parched earth and pushed her baby under a thorny acacia. "Let me not see the death of my child," she cried as she covered her head with her mantle. And then, before what seemed inevitable happened, an angel appeared and showed Hagar she was within walking distance of a well. Hagar could no longer walk, but crawled over to the well, which saved her and Ishmael's lives. This Zemzem is the very same well, so called because of the bubbling sound it made when Hagar found it. If we are to believe the book of Genesis, it is one of the most oldest existing wells of the world. As you journeyed from the mainland to the gates of Mecca, you were forced to cross the hot sands of the desert, which is emblematical of the rough road of life over which everyone must trod. Your way of life will not be smooth or clear always, but rather hard, rough, and rugged. The sandstorms of confusion may at times block your pathway. The hot sands and burning sun will cause you to be weary and well-doing. Thus we are taught that only those who have the indisputable and necessary is emblematical of the distasteful things in life. There are many things we do not, but if we succeed, we're willing to take with the speed. Came down the reflected to some degrees in which deposits were required. It differed only when Father Time takes its toll, you're helpless and must be cared for. Always remember the helpless and those in need. Another important lesson was given you in the form of the cylinder in which you sought to enter. You tried to go through the cylinder, but you were forced to back down. This shows you cannot always carry out your aims and purposes in life. That situations sometimes arise, making it necessary for you to back down. But if you're a real man, you will never back down until every means at your disposal has been exhausted. The greatest lesson given you today was that of the dog. which express humility and meekness. One may be up to date with evidence of prosperity abounding, but tomorrow the picture can be so changed, you can be so low in health or other misfortunes that you cannot defend yourself from any means of humiliation. Thus, we must respect the feelings of others and practice humility and meekness. For he who humbles himself will be exalted. He who exalts himself will be abased. Today, you met a man whom you thought to be a woman. This teaches you never to try to believe everything you see, because deception is one of the greatest stumbling blocks of humanity. So you should never try to be something you're not. Those of you who have lived a loose, wild, and careless life, take heed to the message taught you today. You are required to give the sign of taking in the slack, because it alludes to a portion of the obligation. Thus, you are taught to draw in the slack places in your life, release the loose ends, and start anew as one who is now a member of the nobility in the courtyard of Allah. And now, as you go forth as nobles of the mystic shrine, carrying the color of red, which denotes charity to all mankind, and more especially the household of the faithful, combined with green, which denotes everlasting life, something that's ever growing in wisdom, strength, and beauty. Be true to your trust. Be active in the cause, and faithful to the cause, and active in the uplift of mankind, that Allah may delight to extend his blessings upon you and yours forevermore. Allah be praised.